What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another special interview. As you see, I'm not alone, and this is one I've been wanting to have for a while. Schedules has been conflicting, and it's not me. It's because the champ's out here doing everything she has to do, and I can't fault that, so I had to wait till the availability was here. But I'm finally able to say, finally, welcome to the show, Lizzy Evo. How are you doing today?
I'm really good, thank you so much for being patient with everything. It's been stressful.
Stressful is like the key name for winning, right?
It's a good type of stressful.
Yes. So if anybody hasn't been keeping up with your work, that's fine. But I have. We're going to talk about that. But talk about your weekends week after week. You just putting another one up on the plaque. You can't seem to miss. You are on fire right now.
I'm aiming for double figures. That's the goal.
So champ, and I can't even call you champ because you got more than two. So let me have them here. Tell me, run them down.
Okay, so first off, I collected the Defiant Wrestling Championship.
Collected. I love it already.
That was at the time. That was probably the biggest achievement. Of course, as you're aware with wrestling, Defiant no longer run. Yep. So Defiant told me I would be classed as their last ever women's champion. So that for me is history in itself. So I love that. And then collected.
Lizzy Thanos. I'm listening.
I then won the Preston City Championship Wrestling Women's Champion. That was nice. That was a nice feeling because I'd always wanted to work for Preston at the time.
Yep.
I then went on to win the TNT Women's Championship in Liverpool. For me, that was probably the biggest achievement of them all because it was in the hometown.
Yeah.
I had the family there. I had the friends there.
And you could have just settled there. You could have just stopped.
I could have. But then I thought to myself, if I go to Manchester, what if I can collect another one there? They'll hate me for it. Job done. So mission accomplished. I won the Catch Pro Wrestling Women's Championship last month in Manchester.
The championships look good on you. The promo picture that you took, fantastic. And it's just crazy because when we initially, and folks, we're friends, so we talk often. I try to make sure I give her a lot of praise during this really tough time. And we probably could have did this interview probably a month or something ago. And then we only would have been naming one to maybe two things here. So with a little bit of patience. Yeah. I'm so proud of you, and just seeing that picture, I was like, hell yeah, total badass.
Yeah, it felt good when I was in the moment taking the pictures, but when I got them back, and I was like, wow, I've never been so thankful for photographers in my life.
You hold them with class and style. So speaking of style, one question I've always wondered is why the name change?
Okay, so I spoke with a few guys who got signed a couple of years back. I think it was when the tournament was just starting.
Yep.
And they were like, "What? Why did you call yourself it?" So I then got into the whole. Well, I was a massive One Direction fan. Now everyone thinks it was AJ Styles, and I promise you, it was Harry Styles all along.
The cat is out the bag.
I was like, okay, it's too close to AJ Styles, especially if the route I'm trying to go down is to be signed. So I was like, okay, now I'm going to start looking at changing it. Then I also discovered that every time you type Lizzy Styles in without wrestler, it was a porn star. So I was like, I can't be mistaken. I was like, what?
Unfortunately, that's not marketable. At least for this audience.
I was like, definitely need the name change. And because my wrestling personality is so me, it's just turned up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with my nan's second name, like my grandmother's second name, because like it carries on the name, future
Yeah.
generations and stuff. So I think I'm making her proud by carrying her name on, and just the fact that like I'm being me by doing it in the process.
Yeah. Oddly enough, because it was a question I couldn't find an answer to. It also seemed to be very timely with your attitude, where the name change came, and then it seems like you started to put on more of a like, "Hey, I'm a wrestler and I'm here, and I'm gonna get better," to a whole new persona of I'm a wrestler and I know I'm good. Watch out for me. And I thought, what brilliance at such a very early part of your career to understand that you need to rebrand yourself and not just be comfortable. And then the rebranding came with attitude. And I was like, I'm digging this. I'm absolutely digging this. So
I think everything was. Can you hear me properly, by the way? Because it's a bit crackly.
yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my speaker, but was you finished then? Sorry, I just interrupted you.
No. So, but I'll two-part the question then. So in the pandemic, it's the time where the world completely shut down. It stood still for everybody, which presented us extra time to really focus on self. And again, from the times we've talked, you talked a lot about focusing on your mental health during this time. Along with that, whether people who are just fans of yours and just following your social medias, you've also taken this time to really improve physically, putting in the extra work inside of the gym. And what I want to say is, first of all, the mental health thing is the utmost important thing to any success in anything. So I appreciated you doing that and being vocal about that, because I think that's a tool that a lot of people don't address within the development of their pro wrestling. You think you do more reps, you get more shows. Some people think that's the only way you get better. But so I love the idea that you took that and then the physical aspect. And now looking at your work, it absolutely shows, because you move so much better in the ring, so much stronger, so much swifter. It's clearly like you utilize this time in the way everyone should. With that being said, when the world shut down and you had no clue what was next, what was the mindset in knowing that you needed to utilize this in the way you did?
I think with the whole world shutting down was kind of, I used that as time to stop, wait, and then go. So the stop was gather the thoughts, and the thoughts at the time were not good. Like, as I said, that's where the mental health came into it. Like, I was with a partner at that time, and it wasn't the greatest for my mental health at all. I knew that, but I couldn't escape or find a route out. In the end, I built the courage to, gain the confidence, go. That was kind of where the journey started, because I had every minute of every day to focus on just me. And I bought journals, I bought books, I bought cards, I did so much investing, I meditated, I just tried to better who I was yesterday, and that was me every day through the pandemic. And then once I did that internal work on the mind, the soul, that was when I wanted it to physically show, and I just wanted to go be in the gym all the time, be doing yoga, stretching, and then I got faster, and then I just applied those things to the wrestling side of things. Like, when I'm in a position where I don't feel worthy, if I'm at a show with people that are so talented, that have done amazing things, I then feel I can go switch into the mental health and be like, you fucking belong here too. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I didn't mean to switch.
Yep, go for it. It's your show. Come on, champ. Nobody's censoring you. Please now. Yeah. By all means, continue.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I know to be sorry.
I just applied that into wrestling and believing in myself a little bit more. And once the belief in me came from me, the belts showed themselves.
That's right. Nothing like saying, well, hard work, here's the results. So I think it's pretty safe to say, whether they're fans of your work or if they are followers of your social media, that it's pretty safe to say that you are a woman who likes to step outside of her comfort zone, which ultimately led you into a death match earlier this year. Is there anything else that you are, I mean, the collector now, because I mean, that's obviously one thing here, but like, is there anything else that you're considering wanting to try, whether it's in professional wrestling or whether it's just a worldly hobby?
Well, I definitely want to. I remember a couple of years ago, I wanted to try MMA. So I did a couple of one-to-one sessions with a very, very good MMA guy around by my aunt a couple of years ago. But I don't know why I just stopped, you know, like I might consider it, I might not, but it's definitely up there. Other than that, I'm not quite sure. Like I think the road will reveal itself as I continue going. But yeah, I think just expanding what I already know.
Yeah.
And just learning as I go, because I believe you never stop learning in this job. So every match and every person that I wrestle is a learning curve and a learning experience. And it allows me to step out my comfort zone every time I wrestle, because every time seems to be a test, a harder. Yeah. So to me, that kind of is stepping up my comfort zone. I think it may be the way you perceive a certain situation, and every situation that I've stumbled across since lockdown ended for us has been a massive learning curve and definitely comfort zone step, because I suffered with a lot of anxiety after lockdown. Like, I didn't want to be around anyone. I was so nervous, and I was sweating every time I was in people's company and just things like that. So I think that's why I had to learn so much about the mental health, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And when you apply this knowledge to your hobby or your sport, your job, you become so much more successful than you've ever known before.
That's true. That's so true. I love hearing you say that. Yeah. That's just so empowering.
I think that's the message. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's the message that I only want to ever send to all my viewers, all my platforms, is embrace who you are, embrace what journey you're on, because nothing you have ever received has come easy. If it's good, if it will last, there's going to be detours, there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be obstacles, but it's how you go about them things what makes you who you are. And that's what makes me the champion. That's
right. That's right. Even if you didn't have any belts to show for it, that's easily still what makes you the champion. This is why I like talking to you. This, folks, is why we never ever can record things, because we just talk about mental health awareness all the time. And it was just like, oh shit, we should actually put out something for people so they can
absolutely
get this information.
Absolutely.
But to that question too, I mean, and there was once upon a time where wrestling and MMA tried to stay far away from each other, and rather people went into each other's professions, they wanted to make sure that they were drastically known that they aren't the same thing. But now we're living in a society now where you can take tools from either one and apply it into the other. MMA, Dana White, and the UFC are looking at WWE as far as the status, presentation, promoting. And then wrestlers are looking at MMA for craft, sharpening their tools, things they can bring into the ring as well to also put on a different style of working matches. So, that's a really, I think that was a really cool thing to hear that was also on the back of your mind, because I mean, again, at some point, whether you actually get into an octagon or whether you take all those tools from an octagon and bring it to the ring, it still works,
Yeah. So. Everything's learning, isn't it? And I think because they're so similar and so different at the same time, there's so much that you can take from both and apply to the other, like you just said, and that's where your brain kind of gets creative, and you can start getting imagination of what you can do in terms of like with your body, for instance. Like
Yep.
I never thought I'd be able to be in the shape that I'm in today, and I just applied things I learned from MMA, wrestling, mental health, everything.
Yeah.
If you can mix match everything, like I also say the same with my wrestling moves. Like my wrestling moves are a mix match of different things.
Yeah.
And that's just because I want to be able to showcase every talent, but in a different type of way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course.
think it's important that you apply that to absolutely everything that you do.
Yeah. So are we going to begin any more death matches or any of that sort soon, or we're just going to stay clean to that? He was like, no.
To be fair, I didn't actually do a actual proper death match. I took part in the show, but I was like, yeah, I'm the champ. No.
Fair. Call your shots.
To be fair, I would have loved to have done it. I would have absolutely loved it, but there was just no room for it, like with the weekend that was planned and all the future plans and stuff. But I did a cage match a few years ago, but I was really young and I had no clue about wrestling at the time. And
redo.
It was a learning curve, so I really want to redo ones. I want to redo a cage match, maybe. If the feud continues with Alexis Falcon, I'm going to pitch it because I think that's something that I really want to do and learn again. And see what I can do different this time around, what I didn't do the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that's essential if you can go back and do things a different way to what you did the first time and become happy with them memories instead of the sad memories.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes your journey more fun.
Absolutely. I agree. Look at you. Now you're booking, and what next you're going to be promoting.
I am taking over everything.
Yep. I see the gears turning. So listeners, by now, if you can't tell, she obviously has an accent since I'm American based. She is UK based, if you couldn't tell. And I think it's something that we should address here is that, you worked in Japan, you worked in Scotland, you're UK based, and I'm sure there are plenty of other places in the world that you want to work and have desired to work. And business is just totally different now from the pandemic, from just how promotions are running. So not only just that, opportunities are also very different than how they were just a couple of years ago. So with that being said, does that change your mindset into where you want to see the trajectory of your career? Because I'll be frank, and whether you want to say it or not, most people at some point they say my goal is WWE, which is in America, which means that I got to leave my family and go to America and deal with all the government of trying to get a visa and whatnot, and hopefully I can get a job there. That was probably the goal 3-4 years ago. That may not at all be the goal for most people now. And again, and the reason I'm stressing about where you're from is because, and I'll say this off the limb too, most Americans are just content with being here. Most people from the UK and Australia are world traveled and want to be everywhere. So the mindset of going places is not like separation anxiety like America. They're like I need to do this. This is what I'm going to do. But again, now that the world has been like a bucket of popcorn, everything's been shoveled around. How do you see the business now? Where's your mindset with the trajectory where you want your career to go?
If you would have asked me that when I first started wrestling, of course, why does anybody else want to wrestle? The goal has always been WWE. That's the end goal. But who's to say you can't enjoy the process and the journey to WWE? So, like, my end goal would still be WWE right now. Like, that is the end goal. That's what I envision. That's where I want to be one day. But the journey to there should be more exciting just as much. Mm-hmm. So, I want to travel, like you just said, with me being from the UK. Like, I've lived in the same house, on the same estate, my whole life.
Yeah.
I've traveled to Japan. I wrestled in Japan. That was on my bucket list when I was 13 years old. So that was a dream come true, and to be able to go and do that at such a young age, that was something I never thought I'd ever say, because when you're from a place like me, you don't believe these things can happen to you at all. So it was kind of like proving myself wrong, and kind of because the build up to going to Japan, like so much was going wrong, and like I didn't think I'd ever make it over there, and eventually I got over there, and I was like, this is a surreal experience. I never imagined it would be like this in my life. So I think I just want to travel and wrestle for so many companies. Like, I just want to, like I said, take over places. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, or I just want people to establish who I am. I want to get that out there. I want people to know who I am before I get there.
I love it.
That's what way I want my career to go right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's talk about some friends for a second. Close friend of yours, Zaya Brookside of WWE UK, and our mutual friend in Chris Sharp, referee in WWE UK. What type of conversations do you have with these folks on a regular? As you know, I don't know Zaya, but I do know from the social media interactions that you all are really close. But Chris is my guy, and Chris is the most loving, caring, and I could probably name a billion other words, positive words attached to his name that everybody needs a Chris in their life. And I know if there's any moment that he's willing to give, any moment that he has, he's willing to give. And, you know, having that type of contact and friend is priceless. But talk to me about the two of them. What do they mean to you, and what type of conversations do you all have?
So me and Zaya.
That's not private, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Of course. Me and Zaya are really, really close. So we don't have to speak every single day to, you know, have that connection. So when me and Zaya chat, we chat about how she's been doing, how I've been doing, stuff that she's been getting up to at the PC, and stuff I'm doing back home. You know, just personal life, daily things. It's nice. We send each other funny memes, funny quotes, typical friend things. Me and Chris updates me with some things that may be beneficial to the character. He is so helpful. Like, if, like you just said, if you don't have a Chris in your life, you're doing life wrong. He is amazing in every form. Like, I met Chris years ago when I was doing camps, and that was when I learned a lot about wrestling, character, how you don't have to do, how less is more. I learned a lot during that time, and Chris was a big factor of me learning, especially with going to time in your matches, working a specific thing. You know, I benefit a lot from having him around, and his conversation's so nice because he's such a bubbly person. He's so motivational, and he makes me want to do better and believe in myself, and I think that's important. That's important to have someone like that around.
Yeah. He is a magnet for positivity. I tell you, when I watched the David Art, so you know, anybody a fan or a subscriber to the channel, you know, I'm a film critic, and when I got the David Arquette documentary early, and my buddy Chris was in there, I fucking called him. I was like, dude, why didn't you tell me? He's like, what? You got it already? I was like, yeah. He's like, can we watch it? I was like, of course we can, dude.
It's the best.
But like before the pandemic, he was just like, you got to come out here, man. He was like, he's like, stay with me. I'm gonna get you tickets to whatever you need. And then the world went to shit. But you know, I can't wait to see him soon.
Future plans. There's always times in the future. It's never too late.
Yes, absolutely. You sound just like him saying that.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from him, like I said.
He just channeled through you right there. Thank you, Chris. I hear you, brother.
He just teleported.
Speaking of other people who are very likable, this is person Lizzy Evo, who's very likable. I don't know if you've heard of her or not, but man,
I've not heard of her now.
But man, what a fantastic heel.
Thank you.
I get it because I understand how wrestling works. So in case anybody who doesn't, I have got to ask you, for someone who is the nicest person and who is just a total shitbag in the ring, tell me, what's the on and off switch?
Confidence, I think. I think just, you know what, I think it's passion. You know, I've been asked this so many times, and every time it's a different answer, but the one answer that screams from the intuition is passion. I'm so passionate about what I do. I've never once wanted to step in the ring for money or fame or anything like that. It's always been because there's a 4-year-old girl inside of me today that is screaming, you fucking did it. You went for it and you've done it so far. Just keep going. So that's where it comes from. The switches, the passion that comes from such a young age, and watching and analysing for years and knowing what a heel should be.
Yeah. I love
so.
it. Do you find it more of a challenge to be a heel than a face, or you know, what's the thought process in booking yourself here?
Okay, so if I could book myself, I'd rather be a villain, because I feel I'm more comfortable, and you know, in the UK, not everybody likes a Scouser. So I've instantly got heat. So I'm doing the job easy. Less is more, you know.
Yeah.
But I did spend a lot of years being a babyface when I first started wrestling, and that was where I learned a lot and gained a lot of knowledge, and that was such a happy and fun time of my career, because I was a happy and young, bubbly young girl at the time. So I've always wrestled as myself, just with a little bit of character. So when the Liverpool character came about, it was defiant, and they just wanted to put me over as this big mean girl. So I was like, I'm just gonna own it and go with the flow, and I'm out there. If I can feel something while I'm in a match and it gets me heat, go with it. I think if you just listen to your own voice and your own guidance, you can fly off with things.
Yeah. What's the talking about drawing heat? Obviously you rep Liverpool to the day you die. Any issues with being a heel in your hometown, with everybody knows how much you love it?
So yes. There's a lot of fans that are in Liverpool that don't support Liverpool. They support the other team in Liverpool.
Oh,
Everton.
Well, yeah, football's a little bit different out there. So
yeah, so so I get a bit of shit in Liverpool. It's quite fun, really. I just go with the flow. I give the thumbs up to the ones that love me, and the finger to the ones that don't.
That is awesome. So let's talk about the 4-year-old child you were talking about here inside of you. So another something I had either heard from another podcast you did was about you being 4 and ultimately creating a bucket list for yourself, which is super ambitious. I mean, most people create bucket lists when they're getting ready to die, but when you're just getting born, like, you know, this is the thing apparently. Have you updated that? Is there some new things on there you wanna talk about?
I think that might be the spiritual in me. The spiritual side of me was always writing down what I wanted for my future, and when I became a wrestler, or when I was watching wrestling, I always knew that wrestling in Japan would be such success, and it was something that only I thought I could dream of at the time. So when I wrote it, I half believed it, but I didn't fully believe it. And then when the opportunity came about, I was like, wow, shit, this stuff really works. I'm going to write this down next. So
who are you?
It's not yet come true, but what I like to call it is it's pending for the future. The future is going to receive them things.
Man, who are you? You just exactly like, I don't know. So two more questions. You know, because I want to try to give a little bit to the hardcore wrestling enthusiasts there. So we'll just ask one of these really soft questions: is that who work out there in the business do you just look at and you're just mind blown about their talent?
So in the indie scene or currently signed, anybody? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when I first watched Rhea Ripley, I was mesmerized. I was, you know, everything, just the way she was, everything a heel should have been. The way she wrestled to a size, you know, absolutely everything. She blew me away. She still blows me away when I watch her stuff now. My ultimate dream match is Sasha Banks.
Okay.
I think she's unbelievable when you watch the little things, like you said, you like the little things. I analyze the little things and I try and add them into my stuff, because obviously they're such successful women, and if you can learn a little thing or two by watching what they do and apply it to what you can do, then maybe, you know, you can be just as successful as these people.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks is one I really absolutely love watching. I'm currently on the indie scene. There's quite a few. There is a lot over here that, you know.
I know you ain't giving.
Madison Miles, maybe.
Yes, and I was going to say, I know you're not giving love to anybody on your side of the pond. You not Monster Hill. You tread lightly, friend. People will be hearing this.
Out of character, me says all these people. Okay, so I absolutely love watching Angel Hayes. She's a young age. I don't know if you know much of her. She's from Scotland. She's great. She can play both villain and babyface. She's very likable when she's a babyface, and she's very hateable when she's a villain. And when you can switch the two, I think you've mastered being a wrestler. And
yeah,
she's got full things, and she's really pretty as well. Like she's lovely. So I think she blew me away with how young she is and how talented she is. But I'm always telling her, you need to get this belief for yourself. You know, like once the belief in yourself comes, everything else unfolds after it. And it's so hard to your own head. And I'm just like this little pop up to all my friends, like, believe in yourself.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Also, Kaylee Ray.
Oh yeah.
Signed, obviously, but I've always watched Kaylee, and Kaylee has always blew me away. She's absolutely amazing at what she does.
Agreed.
I can't thank her enough for everything everything I've learned from it over the years, even just watching.
Yeah, agreed. She's dope. I was gonna bring up Rhea really quickly. You brought it up. You know, I was at the Mae Young Classic when Rhea Ripley was in the second year, and this was the year that Tegan Knox, who was rumored to win it, and she had got hurt in the match with Rhea. And I've got to tell you that I'm obviously watching this as just pure fun and not really trying to analyze. I'm on vacation, so I'm just enjoying it. And I've just got to say, the moment that they could not continue that match, something went off on her head, and she just turned into Monster Heel. And at that very moment, I was just like, she's going to be a superstar. I knew she was going to be good, but I knew she was going to be a superstar, because just be able to analyze the situation she was in, because it was a serious injury and she couldn't work the match. And it's just like, I had marching orders to do the match in this way. I don't know what to do. It's a tournament, so something has to happen. And she just went full in. And it was just, ever since that moment, I was just like, man, she has it. She has it. And I think a lot of people either at that moment or some moments after that start realizing, like, keep an eye out on her, because she got it. Because from the last year to that year, totally different person. And I think this is another testament of saying, hey, when you got time to work on yourself, do it, because you just never know when your opportunity is going to come. So that's my tidbit for the day. So final question. We talked so much about all this activity, doing this, and that. What do you do in your downtime to decompress?
To decompress, I would like to have a night of just picking up my journal and picking up a book. So I have quite a few. I'll show you all, for example, now. It's called The Secret Hero. I have the full collection of them, and that's where I gain a lot of my knowledge. So I like to read a lot. I like to meditate, and so because I really want to travel a lot, like that's the next biggest plan. Every night when I get into bed, I fly over a specific place that I've always dreamt of visiting. So last night, I flew over Australia, and
Nice.
in the background I got piano music, and it was so relaxing. And it was just peaceful, and I had my little lights on, and it was nice. It was what I always wish to have every single night when I can get into bed. So I really appreciate that moment. A lot of the time, I like to spend with family, though. I'm a family type of person, because I believe every moment counts and you never get the same moment twice.
Yep.
So take every moment count with the people that you love, and that's the people that are in my house. So I love spending time with the family and then meditating.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, champ, I'm not going to hold up any more time. You just got one other job to do. Where are you getting busy at this weekend? Because the champ never rests. And if you wasn't a champ, you still wasn't resting. Because you just always got something going on. So where are what's the activities for this weekend? Where are you at?
So this weekend my shows were cancelled. So what I did, I managed to book in with the local photographer for a photo shoot with the 4 belts. And I've got like a cool little project coming up with a new sponsor that has reached out to me. So I'm doing a photo shoot for those guys on Saturday. On Sunday, I'm going to watch a show, which could be a potential booking in the future. So I think I'm just going to head down, check out the talent. Like you said, the champ never rests.
See if you see anything sparkly there you may want. I get your drift. Just looking at what else is next going to be on your mantle. I feel you. Just regular things. Well, Lizzy, I appreciate you taking time to chat. Long overdue. We will do it again soon. Can't wait till the world opens. So eventually we can run into each other. I can see you in your environment doing what you do best. And as always, I wish you much love, success, and greatness in your future. Just be nice to the people you're taking their belts from, okay? Just be nice. Just give me that favor. Yeah, just point at them, but like, yeah, Nigeria said be nice. Well, folks.
No, seriously, thank you.
No, for real. Thank you. Folks, her information is in the description below. You can keep an eye out for her future bookings, shows, and social medias and all that other good stuff. We appreciate you checking out this review. And as always, so stay tuned because we're going to have more of these cool things coming up very soon. So thank you for tuning in. See you soon.